What up, what up, what up, Phin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Phin Posse podcast. I'm your host, Big C. This is brought to you by Game Changers Media. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? How is everybody doing today? How do I sound? Last night I was on Doug's show, Dougly Do Wrong. Great guy. But when I watched it back this morning, I absolutely sounded terrible. I had an echo, crazy echo. I know Doug was having problems with his microphone before we had gotten started, and I don't know if I made some adjustments and mine got messed up. Do I got a bad echo right now, guys? How am I sounding right now? Do I got a bad echo? All right, wonderful. Yeah, I sounded terrible on Doug. Like I'm on the biggest platform I've ever been on, and I sounded like shit. I was like, dang, man, that's terrible. That's terrible. My camera wasn't clear. I was like, yeah. Dang. Yeah, but last night, thanks again to Doug. Doug is truly an amazing human being. He took the time out of his busy schedule to help me out, to do some work with me, and I appreciate it. If you're not a member, which I'm sure all you guys are a member of Dougly Do Wrong, he's got he's one of the biggest YouTuber Miami Dolphins content creators out there. But go join him if you're not. He's absolutely fabulous. Me and him, we're like-minded in a lot of ways. So anybody that's new to the channel, that's stopping in for the first time, that seen me over on Doug's channel, welcome. I think you'll enjoy your time here. I think you'll like it. I'm level-headed. I'm not too far one way, not far enough another way. I try to keep it 100. I try to keep it real. And I just want what's best for this Miami Dolphins football team. I love the Miami Dolphins. That's my team. That's my squad. I bleed the aqua and orange. You know what I mean? So welcome. Good morning to everybody that's been here. Good morning, Raphael, Timothy. I keep wanting to mess up your name. Array, right? Array. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for supporting me. I truly do appreciate you guys. Happy Valentine's to all you guys. You want some flowers from me? I got you, kid. I got you, guy. Shoot, I got to get out of this as soon as possible so I can run and grab the wife's son before she wake up. You know how it is. You know how it is, that married life. Yeah, me and Doug did a quarterbacks tier list last night. I think it went absolutely phenomenal. We based it off last year's performance, not career performance, not where we think people are at in their career, or it was just off their performance last year. So I had a great time with him yesterday. Truly amazing human being. And hopefully he helps this channel grow. Hopefully I can work with him more in the future, and just thank you to him. Really appreciative. But let's get into it. Where the last few days we've been looking over draft prospects, and at first we were just going to hit it all in one day, but I realized that it was just too much. Plus, we like to talk about other stuff here. We don't like to just stick it to one category and not chat about other things. But we decided to break it up into categories. The first day we had did quarterbacks. Then we had moved to offensive line, and today's defensive line, baby. Defensive line. Out of the needs for this team, this Miami Dolphins team in this coming season, I'd probably say, if I had to rank them, I'd probably say offensive line is number one. I'd say offensive line is our biggest need. Then I'd probably say safety. We need 2 starting safeties. Javon Hollins, he's probably out of here. He's going to kick rocks. I'm hoping that we move on from him. I hope we don't offer him no huge contract. Listen, I was a huge Javon Holland fan, but we got to keep it real. He's regressed in the last few seasons. He has. He hasn't been the same player the last few seasons. He's been dealing with some injury things, so I can't co-sign bringing him back on a huge contract with those things in mind. With those things in mind, I can't co-sign bringing him back. Timothy Washington, Nick Emery, I like him a lot too. He is a huge guy as far as safeties go, and he's super athletic, super fast. I'd said it before when I had talked about Nick Emery. His tape just jumps off the film at you. He is a phenomenal athlete. He's a big hitter. I like Nick Emery too. I like him a lot too, and there's a good chance that we could get him in the second round. KC wide receiver, Kadarius Toney in trouble with law, strangled girlfriend, shake my head. Listen, I'm surprised he could keep his hands on her neck. Shoot, he has trouble keeping his hands on the football. That's a terrible joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes I got a bad sense of humor. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I'd say offensive line's number 1, safety's number 2, and then I'd take it straight to the defensive line. Obviously, we need a backup quarterback. I'm not going to put that. I mean, lots of people would argue we need a starting quarterback. Armando, what up, brother? What up? What up? What up? Appreciate y'all for stopping through. Yeah, obviously we need a quarterback. Some of you would argue we need a starting quarterback. I'm not going to get into that today. Not today. But yeah, obviously we need a backup quarterback to back up Tua for inevitably when Tua gets hurt. But as far as team needs, I'm going to go offensive line number 1, safety number 2, and then I would say it'd be defensive line. Defensive line, more directly, the defensive tackle position. Defensive tackle. David Leal, what backup quarterback you like to fit the scheme? You know, it's going to be unpopular. I like Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones has a similar skill set to Tua Tagovailoa. I like another Jones too. I like Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones would be a nice fit for this Miami Dolphins team. He's accurate with short passes. He's very athletic. He'd bring a different dimension to this team. But Mac Jones is Tua Tagovailoa, but a right-handed quarterback. Now, do I think he can throw the ball as good as Tua? No. But the Alabama receivers that came out, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, who was the other Alabama receiver that came out around the same time as them? They all said that they had preferred Mac Jones over Tua Tagovailoa, which had surprised me quite a bit, and it kind of pissed me off when it was right around draft time with Mac Jones and Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith, and it kind of pissed me off, and I didn't know what they were talking about. But a lot of them guys said they preferred Mac Jones. So, I mean, I think Mac Jones went to the Pro Bowl his rookie year. Was it deserving? I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I think Mac Jones can come in. I think he's intelligent. I think he's good on them short passes. I think he's accurate. I think he'd be a nice fit. I think he'd be a nice fit for us. David says, yes, I can see Mac Jones. Daniel's nah. I mean, before you say Daniel Jones, nah, I know he was bad with the Giants. I know he was. But look what Saquon was doing with the Giants. Look what a good offensive line does for you. And that's what this defensive tackle, that's why I say defensive tackle is such a big need for us. That's why defensive tackle is such a big need for us. Offensive tackle, offensive line is such a big need for us. Because the Philadelphia Eagles showed us. They showed us 100% what a good offense and defensive line can do for a football team. They showed what a good offensive defensive line can do for a football team. Now, last night when me and Doug were talking, we were struggling with where we put Jalen Hurts. Where do you put Jalen Hurts? Because if you look at his throwing stats, his quarterback stats, they're not great. They're middle of the road. They're not bad, but they're not great. But that offensive line puts him in a different dimension. Yeah, he added 13 rushing touchdowns. A lot of those were the tush push. But he gets put into a very good to almost an elite tier. But do you think Jalen Hurts is truly a better passer of the football than Tua Tagovailoa? Do you believe that Jalen Hurts can sling the rock as good as Tua? Because I don't. I truly don't. I think when it comes to passing, that Jalen Hurts can't hold Tua's jockstrap. I really don't. I really, really don't. But that offensive line does such justice for you. Listen, Jalen Hurts can throw it to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith all day because the defense they're so concerned with the run that those receivers are getting single coverage. And the Eagles got good receivers, so they're going to get open. The Eagles got a good tight end, so they're going to get open. Raphael says Jalen Hurts is better than Tua. Tua takes the sacks and Hurts runs. Tua won't have to take all those sacks if he had a better offensive line, though. Is Jalen Hurts a better athlete? By far. By far. I'm talking about strictly throwing the football. I hear you just come to see that video, but you cannot compare Barkley to Jones. Listen, I'm not comparing Barkley to Jones. Obviously, Barkley is a top end running back in this league. But he had very pedestrian numbers with the New York Giants. Daniel Jones had bad numbers for the New York Giants. You can't tell me that Daniel Jones couldn't be an okay quarterback, an all right backup in a system that had a good offensive line, that had playmakers. You know what I mean? About Hurts, I totally agree. Hurts is a good game manager, great athlete, and a decent passer, but not a better passer than Tua. Absolutely. Tua is a better passer. Tua could get rid of the ball instead of sacks. You're absolutely right. And again, Tua's game isn't perfect. Tua's not perfect. A good offensive line's not going to make Tua's game perfect. Jalen Hurts would probably be taking those sacks too. He just happens to be a good athlete, but regardless, the Philadelphia Eagles showed what a good offense and defensive line can do for a football team. They show what a good a dominant offense and defensive line can do for a football team. Look at what the defensive line did to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. The Philadelphia Eagles did not blitz one time in the Super Bowl. Not one time. Yet Patrick Mahomes was pressured on 50% of his dropbacks. He was sacked six times. He could not get into a rhythm. All with the Philadelphia Eagles just rushing four. So, if you can get a dominant front four, man, does that do wonders. Not only are you able to stop the run, not only are you able to put pressure on the quarterback, that helps your secondary cover. That helps your secondary in coverage. If you only got to rush 4, what's that mean? 7 get the drop back in coverage. 7 got to get drop back in coverage. And then when you're getting pressure with them front 4, the quarterback doesn't have time to find an open receiver, especially with 7 back in coverage. So defensive line to me is super, super important. Where we're missing, to me, I think we're missing the big body guy. The big body guy. Yeah, people fall in love with the pass rushing defensive tackles. And yeah, it's nice to get that pressure up the middle. It's nice to get that pressure up the middle. But I feel like we have a pass rushing defensive tackle. I think that's what Zach Sealer is. Zach Sealer is a defensive tackle that gets pressure on the quarterback. Would you agree? I feel like Zach Sealer is that player. Now, a lot of people have Zach Sealer as a left end or a right end. To me, Zach Sealer is a defensive tackle. I feel like Zach Sealer is a defensive tackle. Dolphins have quality backup quarterback on the roster already. His name is Tua, but Dolphins made him quarterback 1. Raphael, stop. We're not doing that today. We're not doing that today. This is the draft to double down on both O-line and D-line. Yeah, I mean, like I said, my first 3 picks, depending on what we do. Raphael, you're crazy. What we do with free agency determines what order I would like to see us address our needs in the draft. Like I said, I would like us to go get 2 veteran offensive linemen. 2 veteran offensive linemen that can fix and fill those holes immediately, that we don't have to wait for growth, that we don't got to hope that there's no, rookie hangover, none of that. You know what I mean? I'd like us to get 2 veterans that are able to step in immediately and make this offensive line into a top 10 unit. So that would leave safety and defensive tackle. Again, defensive tackle, I feel, is a less. I'm not saying that the safety position is necessarily more important than defensive tackle, but we just don't have anybody back there to play safety. We don't have nobody back there to play safety. Armando says they failed to build the trenches year in and year out. He's drafted a corner. Oh, man. No. Armando, any other year, I would say absolutely. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. He's going to go in a direction that we don't need. But I truly, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Chris Greer is that much of an idiot. But I truly believe that he knows the position he's in right now, that he's got to make the right call. He's got to make the right call. He's got to go after he's got to fill the holes on this team, and he's got to make smart decisions for the first time in his career. And I truly think that he's going to do the right thing this year. I got to have faith in that. Timothy Washington says, give me Becton and resign Win and draft 2 guards. That's not a bad idea. Becton, resign Win and draft 2 guards. I've doubled down. Give me Becton, give me Zach Martin, and resign Win as a backup. I mean, Win has struggled to stay healthy the last 2 years. I don't want to put the success of our offensive line on Isaiah Wynn's health. So give me Zach Martin, give me Micaiah Becton, and let's draft somebody, and let's bring Isaiah Wynn back. I think that would be phenomenal for us. Phenomenal. This is a deep draft to fill holes. Yeah, this draft is deep. You can get a lot of great players in this draft. This draft is deep in most areas besides quarterback. Besides quarterback, this draft is super deep. You can get a lot of good players in the later rounds. Now, I'm not talking about the 5th, 6th, 7th round per se. I'm talking about them first 3 rounds. You can easily get a starter in the 3rd round in this draft. Easily. So, yeah. So, in my perfect world, I'd go get Micaiah Becton, Zach Martin, re-sign Isaiah Wynn. That eliminates guard from the first 2 picks. I wouldn't take a guard until the third round then. So then we got safety and defensive tackle. I looked at the available defensive tackles. The only one that I really seen that could be available that would make sense for us is maybe Milton Williams. He's defensive tackle for the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. He might make sense bringing him in. But again, like I think that we need to go get a big bodied guy. A big body guy that it takes two offensive linemen to handle. I don't want a 290-pound, a 6'2", 6'3", 290 defensive tackle. We have that in Zach Sealer. Now, again, I hope Calais Campbell comes back. That would be huge for this defensive line. I wouldn't be mad if we resigned Deshaun Hand. Deshaun Hand, he played all right. He was all right. He was all right to fill in. So hopefully we could talk Calais into coming back. I'd resign Deshaun Hand. And then, I'd defense our safety position. I'd see if we can get Justin Simmons. I'd see if we can get Justin Simmons. We should have grabbed him last year instead of Poyer. He had a very good year with Atlanta last year. I think he's available again this year. I'd bring him in at one of the safeties. It'd be nice to have a safety that with some experience back there who still can play at a high level. And then I'd probably draft one. So since I'm pretty sure there's a good chance that we could get Nick Emery in the second round, or shoot, we trade up and get Nick Emery. I'm looking at defensive tackle maybe in first round. I'd look at defensive tackle first round. Who would you make team captains next year? I'm going Waddle, Achane, Jonnu, Zealer, Brooks, and Ramsey. Oh, I'm going. I mean, if Armstead's on the team, you got to have Armstead. Waddle's an all right pick. Achane. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to put Achane in a starting role in that role, but I don't know if he's got the character for it. I mean, let's talk realistically who the captains are going to be. I mean, we could talk about who captains are going to be. Let's talk about realistically who the captains are going to be. Tua's going to be a captain. Armstead will be a captain if he's still there. Hill's going to still be a captain because you don't risk pissing Tyreek off. You don't risk changing things up for Tyreek because you might get him upset. And Tyreek is a ticking time bomb. But he's such a great player. So I would say those three on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, Zach Sealer, absolutely. I'm cool with Jordan Brooks. And you're right, probably Achane. Or not Achane, Ramsey. Probably Ramsey. Timothy, I don't think you're entitled to your opinion. I don't think that trading to our Tyreek is the right move by any means. By any means, we're not going to get what he's worth. We're not going to get any type of value for Tyreek. And it doesn't help this team this year. It does not help this team this year. And again, Tyreek makes bad choices, and I don't support everything he does. I don't. But Tyreek Hill is the most dynamic player we've maybe ever had here in Miami. Maybe the most dynamic player we've ever had in Miami. I know he's brought me excitement and joy as a fan. And that's a lot more than this team has brought me in a lot of years. I can't support trading our best player. Tyreek Hill is our best player. I can't support trading him and getting nothing in return. I just can't support that, brother. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. He quit on the team. This, and this. I just, I just can't support it. So let's get into these defensive tackles, shall we? The cream of the crop, the very top of this draft class is defensive tackle Mason Graham, Michigan. This guy is the top of the top. I don't think we're going to be in a position to grab this guy unless something catastrophic happens or unless we trade up, which I don't see us trading up, but Chris Greer has done crazier things. Mason Graham is the cream of the crop. After Mason Graham at 13, I think there's an opportunity that we could get everybody else that is available at defensive tackle. I think Mason Graham's going to be out of our reach, but everyone else, I think there's a good opportunity that we can get them. So the next person on the list, number 2 on the list, is the number 2 ranked defensive tackle in this draft class is Walter Nolan. Walter Nolan, Ole Miss. He's 6'3", 305 pounds. Let's see what they got to say about Walter Nolan. Says the numbers only told part of the story. Nolan's impact went far beyond the box score. He was the anchor of the Ole Miss defense that set school records for 52 sacks, 122 tackles for loss in 2024. His consistent disruption in the backfield, highlighted by multiple 3+ TFL performances, showcased his ability to take over games. The transformational fucking lighting in here is terrible. The transformation from highly touted recruit to dominant SEC defender has positioned Nolan as one of the premier interior defensive line prospects in this draft class. Walter Nolan was dominant for Ole Miss, absolutely dominant. He's absolutely a beast. He's got an explosive first step off the snap, allows him to consistently beat offensive linemen into the set and dictate initial engagement. Natural leverage winner, so he gets up under them pads and moves guys out of the way. Displays impressive lateral agility and change of direction skills for a 305-pounder. He's super athletic, like I said, super athletic. He can beat you in a multitude of ways. Masterful at using his compacted frame, natural leverage to get underneath taller guards, driving them backward while maintaining his balance and power throughout contact. The guy's a beast. I think automatically he could step in and be a starter for us, be a key contributor for us, and improve our offensive line, improve our defensive line, improve the run stopping ability. That frees up guys like Jordan Brooks to get in there and make the tackle, Dotson to get in there and make the tackle, for our safeties to come up and make tackles. Walter Nolan would be a great pick for us. He'd be a great pick. After Walter Nolan, personally, my favorite, if we were to take one in the first round, is Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant, Michigan. Listen, Mason Graham got most of the credit, but Kenneth Graham, he's one of those guys that you need to grab. You need to put 2 guys on. And I think a lot of Mason Graham's success comes from the fact that he played next to Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant, 6'3", 339 pounds. Monster of a man. Monster of a man. Let's see what they say about Kenneth. Grant's journey to the top of the draft boards accelerated during Michigan's 2023 national championship run, where he emerged as more than just a space-eating nose tackle. See, that's what I'm talking about, that space-eating nose tackle, but he's more than that. He's more than that. So that makes him extra valuable. His viral moment came against Penn State, chasing down running back Creighton Allen from behind, a play that perfectly encaptured his rare blend of mass and mobility. He followed that up with a junior season that saw him set Michigan's all-time record for pass breakups by a defensive lineman while anchoring one of the college football's most dominant defensive lines. That's another thing. That's another huge thing that a defensive tackle that I love to see from my defensive tackle. He gets his hands in the air. He gets his hands on the ball. He deflects passes. He stops the pass in the backfield. And tip passes cause interceptions. Tip passes cause turnovers. And what's this defensive lacking in? Turnovers. We were one of the top picks in the draft, but are one of the top defenses in the NFL, stat-wise. But we were at the bottom of that list when it came to turnovers. And this guy, he gets his hands on the ball and can create turnovers for us. Beyond the highlight reel plays, Grant's sustained impact shows in the details. The consistent push on passing downs, the disciplined gap control, and the surprising range to make plays outside the tackle box. His combination of test numbers, 4.9540 at 339 pounds. Think about running a 4.940 at 340 pounds. This guy is a freak athlete. He's a huge guy. Athletic freak. Made Friedman's list of, at number 46, of freak athletes. At 6'4", 360 pounds, he ran a sub 5 minute second 40. Jim Harbaugh said that to The Athletic this month that the guy has incredible traits that you can't be taught. Is likely a number one down lineman. Impressive first quick step, putting him in immediate pressure in the backfield. He developed a bunch of pass rushing moves. This guy could be a difference maker for us. He can tie up two guards, the center and the guard. He can tie up two at a time. That allows Zach Sealer or one of our pass rushing edges or outside linebackers to get after the football or get after the quarterback. This guy would be huge. For us. With the 13th pick, the Dolphins take long snapper from San Jose State. Raphael, stop it. I love Kenneth Grant. I think he would be a home run for us. Now let's say we trade down a little bit. That's a possibility. Because I think you can get. We talked about how deep this draft is. And I think you can get someone that is typically a top 10 talent in the early 20s in this draft. So if we can pick up an extra third round pick in this draft, an extra second round pick in this draft, that's huge. That's a whole nother starter that we could get. That's a whole nother starter that we can pick up for this team. That's another hole that we could fill. Trade down Tyler Booker. We're going to talk about Tyler Booker. We're going to talk about someone else you mentioned first, though. Deion Walker, another one of those huge human beings. I think we could trade down and get this guy in the mid-20s. I really do. Deion Walker from Kentucky. He's 6'6", 345 pounds. Absolute beast. Walker's career stats include 95 total tackles, 17 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks, 4 pass deflections, and 1 forced fumble. He was consistent ability to disrupt offenses and make impactful plays, and has made a top prospect for upcoming NFL draft. He's got massive size and length, standing 6'6" and 348 pounds. Makes him a formidable presence on the defensive line. Exceptional power allows him to dominate offensive linemen, often requiring double teams to contain him. That's what I'm talking about. If you can make the offense put two guys on one guy, you're already winning the battle. You're already winning the battle. Remarkable foot quickness. The fact that he's quick and he's so big is a key. Strong tackling ability, ensuring that once he gets a hold of a ball carrier, the play is stopped. That's big too. This team struggles with missed tackles. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Strong tackling ability, ensuring that once he gets a hold of a ball carrier, the play is over. High motor and work ethic, consistently playing with intensity and determination on every snap. What's this team need? Dogs. What's this guy? A dog. Straight dog. Excellent in run defense, has the ability to plug lanes and disrupt running plays. Strong leadership quality, serving as a team captain and being recognized for his impact on and off the field. Great high character guy. Go and get yourself Deion Walker. Deion Walker, folks. Deion Walker, and pick up an extra third-round draft pick while you're at it. Pick up an extra second-round draft pick while you're at it, so you can add another talented player to this football team, another starter to this football team. I like Deion Walker a lot. I think he would be absolutely phenomenal for us. And I like the idea of being able to pick up more draft picks. I like the idea of it. Let's see. Now let's say maybe we go let me see. Where is Tyler Booker at? I know I seen him today. I had Tyler Booker wrote down. I don't see him though. Well, we'll get to him. We'll get to him. Maybe you want to go a little bit lower. Maybe we decide to go safety first round. Maybe Malachi is the pick for us in the first round. Safety from the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's say we're looking at our defensive tackles in the second round. Someone I really like is Zeke Biggers, Georgia Tech. Zeke Biggers, 6'6", 320 pounds. I feel like Zeke Biggers would be available in the second, third, possibly even the third round. Possibly even the third round. Let's take a look at him. Take a look at him. Where's this stuff at? Sorry. Yeah, Zeke Biggers, I think we could get him maybe second or third round. Another guy that I really like that I think we could get second, possibly third round is the defensive tackle out of Florida, Cam Jackson. Cam Jackson could absolutely fill a hole for us. He is 6'6", 342 pounds. Notice I'm sticking with the huge human beings. I like the thought of that. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, the Ted Washingtons of the world, the former Buffalo Bills star. what's the guy that just retired a couple years ago from the Patriots? Vince Wilfork. I want that big, nasty, ugly in the middle of our defense. I want that. I think that would be humongous for us. Just the guy that can't be moved. The guy that can't be moved. And now these guys are big like that and super athletic. Before, these guys were huge, sloppy jalopy guys, that didn't move very much. They just took up space. But now these players are super athletic. They can run down a running back down the field. At 340 pounds, they can outrun some linebackers. They're just absolutely fantastic athletes. And I think that would really give us, you put one of these guys next to Zach Sealer. I think you see Zach Sealer with 12 plus sacks this year. I think you get us a big, nasty defensive tackle. I think we see Jalen Phillips get over the 10 sack mark. I think Chop Robinson gets over the 10 sack mark. I think it helps the defense wholeheartedly. I think it improves our run defense. It improves our pass defense. It improves the defense as a whole. Again, we go and we get them 2 veteran offensive linemen like we spoke about. We go and we draft one of these young studs, a defensive tackle early. Maybe get Nick Emery in the second round. This defense could be, we could be filling these holes. And this defense this team would be improved as a whole greatly. This team would be greatly improved. And again, people act like we were a 3-win team last year, or we haven't been very good the last few years. The offense and defensive line are such important pieces to being able to beat good football teams. The way you win games in December in cold weather against good teams is in the trenches. And if we fix those trenches, this team could be dangerous. This will be the best team that Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier have fielded in the last 3 years. This is going to be the best version of the Dolphins we've seen in the Mike McDaniel era. And again, it all relies on Tua staying healthy. Because if Tua can't stay healthy, we're in for another long season. If Tua Tagovailoa can't stay healthy, we're in for another long season. I don't care who you bring in at backup quarterback. If Tua misses 5, 6, 7 games, the season's shot. I don't have the confidence in Mike McDaniel to be able to adjust the offense, the offensive scheme to fit whatever backup quarterback we end up signing. The only chance that we have is to get a backup quarterback as similar to Tua as possible. That's why I'm so big on Mac Jones. Because Mac Jones can do a lot of the things that Tua can do, which makes Mac Jones stepping in the Mike McDaniel's offense that much easier. Tyler Huntley is a good backup for a lot of teams, but Tyler Huntley doesn't have the same skill set as Tua Tagovailoa. So for Tyler Huntley to try to step in for Tua and Mike McDaniel's not adjusting the play calls, that's tough for anybody to be able to come in and do. That's tough for anybody to come in and do. But I got to have faith that Chris Grier makes the right decisions. Hopefully he doesn't go draft a corner. Hopefully he doesn't go throw big money at Javon Holland. Hopefully he doesn't go throw all the cap space he creates on Trey Smith, the guard from Kansas City. Would Trey Smith help this football team? Absolutely. Will that be stupid as shit because we can get multiple starters for that amount of money? Absolutely. Absolutely. So hopefully Chris Greer does he holds back from making the big splashy play because that's not what this team needs this year. We've done that. We've been there. We've done that. We've made the big splashy plays. We've went out and got the big name players. Now we need to get dogs. We need to get the people that put the work in the trenches. We need the people that put in the work that don't get the credit. You know what I mean? We got the big guy names that take the spotlight. We need those dogs that, you know what I mean? You might not even know their names. You know they do their job and they're the animals. You know what I mean? They're animals. Big C, what's your thoughts on Thor Griffith, defensive tackle from Louisville? I haven't seen him. Let me take a look. Like I said, I don't keep up on a lot of college football. So when I go and watch videos and stuff, like it's a lot. It's a. I mean, obviously, I can't watch up on everybody, but if someone throws the name out there to me, I'll go check them out and I'll give my opinion on what I think. But let me see. Oh, let's see. Well, he's obviously smart, right? Said after graduating from Harvard with a degree in economics, he transferred to Louisville, seeking to elevate his game and improve his NFL prospects. Says he's exceptionally explosive off the line of scrimmage, demonstrated by his impressive 1.65 second 10-yard split. Remarkable strength and power, has benched 225 pounds, 45 times. That's impressive. Versatile defender, capable of playing multiple techniques using the defensive line, including 4-3 technique and 21 technique. High football IQ, quickly processing plays. I'm sure he's super smart going to Harvard. Violent at the point of attack. I like to hear that. With solid use of hands, allowing him to dominate offensive linemen. Impressive short area quickness for his size. Strong run defender, described as unblockable by Ivy League coaches. I mean, the Ivy League is something different, but I mean, the guy sounds super impressive. 6'2" to 320 pounds. He's got good size. 4.940. I like that. He's got high rankings. Trying to see where they got him projected going. Do you know where they got him listed at? Like what round they're talking about? Undrafted free agent. Absolutely, I'd jump all over it. I would use a 7th, 6th round pick on a guy like that. Like he's got like his measurables are off the tape. You know what I mean? They're off the chart. And he's projected as an undrafted free agent with people saying the things that they're saying and that's they're saying great things about this kid. I'm going to have to watch some of his tape, but yeah, I mean, absolutely. Why wouldn't you? Even if you go defensive tackle early in the draft, you still go grab a kid like that. You line that kid up next to a Walter Nolan, a Kenneth Grant, a Deion Walker. You know what I mean? Then you get two studs. Absolutely. I like the idea of that. Yeah. Absolutely. Thor Griffith. I like it. Where did you find him at? You watched him play and just liked how he played, or you were investigating, or what? Yeah, I like that. I like that. Um Today's Friday. Make sure you guys check out the Blitz. That's on my other channel. I'd be posting on this channel too, but if you go support the other channel, that'd be great. You watched him play. Um, Let me see if I can put the link in the comments. Do 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 do. Yeah, make sure we'll be live on the Blitz tonight, discussing all things going around the football the NFL right now. Make sure you stop by and join us on the Blitz tonight. Me and Mike have a good time on the Blitz. I think most people would enjoy the show. So what do you guys we'll save that for later. Probably Monday we'll discuss safeties. We'll go into safeties. That's the third area of need. I'm super excited for the draft to be. I can't wait for the draft to get here, because that's when we can really start putting this team together. And then we can, or I'm really excited about free agency to get here. My fault, because once free agency gets here, you can really start to figure out your draft. You know what I mean? You can really start to narrow in on who's a real possibility for you to take, who you can who you can really focus in on, and you can start putting this team together. Mike Lombardo, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Listen, I want everybody to know that I'm going to start putting it in. That's my fault. I'm going to start putting, because this is I take pride in saying this is the most interactive channel. I try to literally answer everybody's questions. Every comment I try to put out there. But everybody is more than welcome to join me on set. You're more than welcome to come on the show and talk football with me. I'd love to have you. I'd love to discuss it with you, person to person. I'd love to put a face to some of these names too. So feel free to join me in the future. Also tonight on the Blitz, come through. We always encourage people to jump on. What up, Tim the Phin Man?
What's up, Big C? How you doing, man?
How's it going?
Cooling, man. Cooling. Man, all right, so I agree with you. All right, so D line is so deep that we can pick up a guy in the fifth, the sixth, seventh round and still I think still be a contributor. Um I was talking talking him away from University of South Carolina. He's another beast.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down for that. Listen, anybody that you can add in them later rounds that can come in and contribute, I'm for it. Because I think those later round picks, I mean, they're hard to find people. They're hard to find contributors. You know what I mean? I don't overly care for the fifth, sixth, seventh round picks. I'd rather try to trade them away and get a proven player. But I mean, if you can find those diamonds in the rough, and like you
Them
said,
hit them gems.
yeah, this draft is super deep. So you're gonna have a lot of players that maybe should have went in higher rounds typically fall to those later rounds, and we could really find some people that could really contribute with this team like right away. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, keep bringing the names to us. Keep introducing the people to these hidden gems. Maybe we'll have a little segment just for you, the hidden gem segment. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know about that. All right, so I know some people, but I ain't gonna say like, oh yeah, I know everybody. No, I ain't that type of guy.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
But yeah, man, I just came up here just to listen to. Hey, man, I support what you're doing and keep up the good work, big dog.
I try, brother. Thank you so much. It means the world. It really does. I just hope that I'm doing a good job and people like the content, you know?
Hell yeah, you're doing a good job, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, make sure you stop by again. All right. I appreciate you.
All right, yes, sir.
Uh,
All right, take it easy,
uh,
bro.
yep, you too. Thank you. Yeah, anytime. Stop in. Like I said, Monday we're gonna go over safeties. Make sure you stop in tonight at the Blitz, 8 p.m. Uh, but yeah, I gotta go get some flowers for the old lady. You know, go get something. Go get something. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody. Oh, all right. Shake wants to stop in. What up, Shake?
What's good? What's good, homie? How you doing?
How you doing today? How you doing this morning?
Uh, just chilling, man. Another beautiful day in Zamunda.
What's that?
It's another beautiful day in Zamunda.
Yeah. How you feel about us going defensive tackle in the first round? You like that or no?
If he's if you know if he's worth it. I mean, if you know, like the saying goes, man, ain't no journey too great as long as you find what you seek. I think if he's gonna be a contributor and he's gonna be an impact, why not? I mean, but you know, I would say in the first round, um, offensive line. And here's the thing: at the end of the day, I know people want to get off Tua, but if we build an offensive line that makes Tua look good, and we do move off of Tua, guess what? A quarterback is going to want to play for a team with a good offensive line. So,
Absolutely.
so even if we do move off of Tua, which I don't, you know, whatever it is, what it is. I can't control how people feel. But if we do move off of Tua and we get that new quarterback, he's going to have success behind that offensive line. I mean, granted, I know he was one of the least pressured, but still, I think shoring up that offensive line is definitely going to help you do more creative things in the future. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just slant, bubble screen, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that's
I
one of the
totally
reasons
agree.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said I totally agree. I mean, I've been banging on the table for offensive line. I would just think that I would like to see us bring in some veterans to fill the holes this year, like Will Fries from the Colts. He's still young and he can be a building block for the future, but he's a proven commodity. Mekhi Becton, we can get him. He's still super young, and I mean, he had a good year with the Philadelphia Eagles last year after they switched him to guard. So, I mean, with this team trying to when them being in win now mode because of Chris Greer's job security, I could see them bringing in experienced players at the offensive line. And that's why I wouldn't necessarily address the offensive line in the first round. I mean, if we don't go veterans, then absolutely offensive line is our number one need.
Yeah, but let me add, you know, and talking to you and thinking about what you just said earlier. Now, if we get like a Vince Wilfork or a Warren Sapp, yeah, sign me up, 10 out of 10 times, twice on Sundays. If we get one of those kind of guys, hell yeah, I'll take a defensive tackle.
Absolutely. And like they had just pointed out to me, this draft is super deep in a lot of positions. So we can get great starters, in the fourth, fifth round. We can get a starter in the fourth, fifth round. Shoot, they got this guy projected, Thor Griffin. He's a undrafted free agent, and his his vitals are off the charts. Like they're saying amazing things about this guy. I'm gonna have to check out his tape, but yeah, we can get some really good players later in this draft. So
Yeah, fifth round. You think about it, Brian Cox was a fifth round. Zach
yeah,
Thomas was a fifth round.
yeah,
Who else? Godchow was a fifth round.
yeah,
So we had a lot of Van Ginkel was a fifth round. So we got a lot of good players in that round. So
yeah,
we do have a history of getting good players in the fifth round.
yeah, yeah. We definitely do. Uh, yeah, I mean, we'll see it. We'll see what kind of cap space Chris Greer comes up with, and what we do in free agency, and then it's a lot easier to narrow down where we're gonna go in the draft. This is just fun to speculate, you know what I mean? But here in another month, we can get down to business and really try to figure
Yeah.
out what direction we're
Yeah.
gonna go in.
I agree because we don't know what we kind of have an idea of what we want, but at the same time, we don't know what direction the team is going until after the free agency market is done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Then you kind of
absolutely.
gauge what direction they're going in. So they got this guy, they got this player. But one thing about the offensive line, if I may, one thing we do know with that Brewer has only had one more year. I think
Yeah,
a good time to get a center is now, so he could be a stopgap. We put him as an offensive guard. So if the unfortunate happens to Brewer, we're gonna have a good center because centers don't grow on trees, man. Center is a very important position for two reasons. Number one, the snap and change, and number two, they're kind of like the quarterback of the offensive line. They help they help the quarterback identify blocks and things of that nature. So we need a great center moving forward. So I think the center of the future, like look at Mike Pouncey, Marquise Pouncey,
yeah,
Dwight Stevenson, and even Peyton Manning had that center for a long time, and they've had great success together, those two. So people
yeah,
don't. I put a high value on getting good center for the future.
yeah. Peyton Manning's was Jeff Saturday. Yep. What makes it difficult though is the type of offensive line that Mike McDaniel likes. A lot of other coaches don't like. Like he likes some smaller, athletic offensive line, where a lot of people like the bigger, stronger, more physical offensive line. You know what I mean? That's why Brewer was a success here, but a lot of people weren't high on Brewer because Brewer's undersized. He's not super strong, but he's super athletic. So I mean, if we go and we draft a bunch of linemen, or you draft a center, and it's the type of center that Mike McDaniel wants, it's not going to be necessarily the type of center that the next regime's going to want. You know what I mean? And that makes it that
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
it difficult. That makes it difficult when you're going through a transition phase where the coach might not be here the next year, the general manager might not be here the next year, because the new regime might have a different path all together. You know what I mean? They might have a different vision for the team and how they want it built and what type of players they want. So it really makes it hard.
Yeah, but you never know. You could also run into a coach to be like, I run a similar scheme. I run these are kind of when you get a new head coaching job. That's why I think coaches are more selective. You know the personnel you have in mind, and a good coach will go in there saying, okay, this is what I have. I have to work with this instead of trying to freaking rebuild everything and you know instead of hitting the ground running, they want to rebuild everything, and they don't have success right away. And guess what? They get fired, and then that's how the regime, the door keeps turning and turning and turning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Shake. Stop. Thanks for stopping in. I have to run and grab some flowers for my wife before she get up. I'm gonna be a dead
No
man.
doubt, no doubt. All right, man. Keep up the good work, and like I said, next week, I'm gonna be doing the smoke lounge, so I'll be sending you. I'll send you a message later.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much.
See you.
Everybody, Shake Money. If you're not connected to his channels, go check him out. Great dude, great content. He's been a big help for me. I gotta get out of here, folks. I'll be back. Check out the Blitz tonight at 8. I'll be back Monday. We'll break down safeties. Thank you, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and always, you know what it is. Fins up. What? Peace.